Well, this is the film developing reel that I'm going to be using. I ordered this online. I've just by luck found a guy that makes these with a 3D printer, and it looks pretty cool. I've seen some videos on YouTube of how that, how they are used, and it looks pretty straightforward. So, and the cool thing about this is it's designed to go with this 3-reel Patterson developing tank. So it fits down in here like this once you get the film loaded, and then it's got this little pour through cover that fits into a little slot and locks in. And right now it's completely light proof, so you can pour your chemicals in without having to worry about exposing your film. And then it's got a little rubber lid that you put over it that you can use to agitate, and I'll show you all that later. But right now I just want to practice a little bit loading the film into this film reel, just because you have to do this in the dark. There's no other way to do it. But I've never used one of these before, and I wanted to just kind of see how it works. Now the film is in these little film cartridges, or whatever you want to call them. Each one of these holds 2 sheets of film like this, and there's one on this side, and there's one on this side. And the way you know if the film's been exposed or not is that when you pull the dark slide out, and I'm not going to do it now because there's film loaded, but you pull it out and you expose the film, and then you flip it around and then you push it back in the other way. So unexposed is white, and then exposed, if you can see that, is black. The 4x5 sheet film, you've got 2 sides. You've got the emulsion side, which is where the image is exposed on. Then you've got the non-emulsion side. And you have to load the sheet into the film holder with the emulsion side pointing inward. And the way you know in the dark if you've got the right emulsion side or not is there's a little slot cut out in the top corner of the film. What I always do is just grab it by that, and I know I've got the emulsion facing me. So to load these, you're supposed to be able to bend them like this, and it says to put your finger over this little slot just to kind of help guide it, and also to help know that you're in the right area. It's going to take a little getting used to, but you can feel the film there, so that's good. And then you move to the next one. Alright, well, I got my film tank loaded. It was not quite as hard as I thought it was, but I was a little surprised when I opened a couple of the film holders. There was no film in it, so that was a little bit of a shock. Kind of threw me off a little bit. But I did have some old film that was exposed but unprocessed from 1986 that I was able to take out and load into the film holder. So I have no idea what's going to be on these films. So it's just the process I'm trying to go through today to validate that I can do this at home more than anything. So what I'm doing now is I want to get my developer down to 68 degrees. And you have to get it up real hot to mix it. And so right now we're still up at about 88 degrees, so it'll take a few minutes for me to get it down to 68 using this ice bath. And then once we get down to 68 degrees, I'll go ahead and get started. Okay, well, I've got my developer at 68 degrees, and I'm getting ready to pour it into the tank. I've got my timer set for 8 minutes. I'm going to agitate for the first 30 seconds, and then every 30 seconds agitate for about 5 seconds. We agitate to keep air bubbles and other things floating around in the chemical from sitting on the film and causing spots. So here we go. I'd already measured this earlier, and I know that I needed exactly 1 liter of developer. Okay, so now about every 30 seconds I'm going to agitate for about 5 seconds. And I'm not going to film the whole thing, I'm just going to kind of give you an idea, you know, the first couple of steps here. So, and once I'm done, I'll be back and show you the next step. So. Okay, I've got about a minute left, so just wanted to get the camera back on and take you to the next step. I've already got my stop solution ready to go too. Okay, once I get to the end, I'm just going to pour this out as quickly as possible and then pour the stop bath in to stop the development process. Okay, now I'm going to pour the stop solution. And this one I'm going to just agitate continuously for 1 minute. This is just basically stopping the development process. And one thing I didn't say earlier, but just when you're agitating, you want to kind of be as gentle as you can, because the more aggressive you agitate, the more possible that you could get, you know, some grain in your film. So you want to try to be as gentle as you can, especially during the development. Okay. And these chemicals can be reused multiple times, so just want to make sure you don't get them all mixed up. This developer and the stop bath, and the next thing is to fix it, to fix the film. So we're going to put this fixer in there, and it kind of hardens the film and protects it. And we're going to do this for 5 minutes with a similar agitation profile that we use with the developer. We'll agitate for about the first 30 seconds. You know, at this point, your film it's developed. And what we're doing here is just essentially we're just hardening the emulsion and protecting it. And I'm going to wash all this off in a second, and then we'll use some stuff called PhotoFlow, which is sort of an emulsive that breaks the water tension and prevents water spots when you dry it. And once we're done here, I'm going to empty the fixer out, and then we're going to rinse the tank out a couple of good times, and then we'll put the PhotoFlow in. This final step, we're going to pour off all the rest of this rinse water. And it's developed now, so I can take off the little light shield. And what I'm going to do now is use distilled water, because this is giving it a final rinse. And when you use PhotoFlow, it's like I said earlier, it kind of breaks the surface tension of the water, and it doesn't allow it to spot up on the negative, because you definitely don't want spots on your negative. So just cover the little film holder. I'm just going to swirl it around and for a few minutes, and then you'll be able to take them out and you'll be able to dry them. Okay, I'm pretty much done. Now I just got to take the film out and put it in my little dryer. This is going to be a little tricky here because I've never done this. Oh wow, that's pretty cool. These are just pictures from whenever I was in school that I never developed. Well, there's the final product. I'm not sure how good this is going to show up on the video, but this is a picture that I shot in 1986, I'm pretty sure. and I never developed it. It's just been sitting in a little film box all this time. So I'm amazed that it turned out at all.